Hi, I'm Ryan Jahnke with 719 Lending.
And I'm Ray Brown with REMAX Advantage, and we're here today to video some information for you about the home buying process. Typically when someone is referred to me as a buyer, people that I've worked with in the past, they might say, hey, talk to my friend Ray, he's a good real estate agent. So I'll talk to them and I find out, what are you looking for in a house? But really one of the key things that I want to know right up front is, have you spoken with a mortgage lender? And because that's job one. If you don't have money, we don't need to bother with looking for a house. So at that point, I send them over usually to Ryan, and I say, give Ryan a call, and he'll get you pre-qualified for a mortgage.
So what that looks like is, you and I will meet and we'll talk about sort of what your long-term goals are, what's important to you even in a loan for a home loan. But then we're looking at things such as your income, your credit, and your down payment. So all those things get analyzed. You do an online application, and hopefully I can send a pre-approval letter, which means you're qualified up to a loan, and that it's very likely you can get it based on the information that we have. And I can give that letter back to Ray, and then once that happens, then you can go on to the next step.
Yeah, and the next step is then we sit back down again, whether it's on the phone or in person, and kind of confirm what you're looking for in a home. How many bedrooms minimum, bathrooms minimum, whether or not you need a garage space or just a parking spot. And then we target specific neighborhoods that you want to be in. So we have this big database that all the realtors in town who have a house that they're selling for someone, we put it into a big database called the MLS, and it stands for Multiple Listing Service. And they put in bedrooms, bathrooms, garage spaces, neighborhood, zip code, the price. So once we have that criteria in place, the search starts. And if Ryan were looking for a home, he would get an email as soon as the house shows up on the market that meets his criteria. And the cool thing is, when you're looking at all that information, if you immediately know, I don't want to buy that house, you can click this garbage can icon and it marks it as a reject. But if you really like it, you can mark it with a heart. But it makes it really simple for you to kind of sort through the houses. So once we find a house, we go out and we look at it, and if you like it enough, we write a contract. And if the seller signs the contract, I immediately do two things. I send it to the title company, and then I send it to Ryan. And What do you do from there?
All right, then we're off to the races. So hopefully by this point, I've already collected all the different income documentation and your assets, the things we need to submit this loan. But there's a lot of work the first couple of days for you under contract. So I get everything all tuned up, I get the information right, and we submit it to a lender after I've priced out to see where's the best place to send your loan. Right away, there's going to be initial disclosures to sign. They're called your loan estimates. And if you sign those, then we're able to actually get this loan moving and submit it to underwriting. So other important things that happen right away is an appraisal is ordered. That's when a professional licensed person goes out and assesses the value of the home. And then Ray usually does an inspection.
Yeah, and at the same time that he's doing all that behind the scenes, I'm doing other stuff. So I work with you to hire a home inspector. You can bring any inspector you want, but I've got a list of 3 or 4 that you can choose from if you want to, because most people don't know a whole bunch of home inspectors. But we'll get the home inspection scheduled, and we have the home inspected, and if everything's great, we move forward. And if everything's not great, then we go back to the seller and we say, hey, Mr. Seller, we want you to fix maybe these 4 things. And the seller may come back and go, well, I'll do these 2, but I don't want to do those 2. And then it's another round of negotiations. But as soon as we come to a resolution on what's going to be fixed, what's not going to be fixed, now we're really just running for closing. So we kind of look for the loan to be finished up.
Yeah, and in the background when all that was happening, your loan has gone through underwriting. And usually what happens is the bank comes back and says, we need a few more items, things explained.
They always say they need a few
always
more
need a
items,
few
so
more
just be
things.
prepared for that.
Yeah, so it's a process that sometimes feels like it never ends, but it really does. So once you've dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's, then we get to the end, there's a closing disclosure, the numbers get more and more accurate as we go along, and once that appraisal comes back, as long as the value is good, kind of what we planned on or above, we can get the final approval for a loan. It's called the clear to close. So it's a bit of a race during all this, right? Because this contract only lasts for so long. How long do you normally have?
Typically 30 days.
30 days, yeah. So then once we get the final approvals from the bank, everything gets signed off, we set an appointment with the title company, right?
Right, and the title company has someone they call the closer. And their whole job is to sit there and make sure everybody signs everything just right and initials everything exactly as it's supposed to be. And they also make sure that the money comes in from Ryan's lending and then gets paid to the seller. So that's the whole job of the closer, is to do that. And they also issue a title insurance policy, which is a subject for a whole different video. But at that point, they give you keys.
That's the important part.
Yeah. So, hope you find that helpful. It's just a quick overview. Would love to sit down with you, either one of us, and give you more details or meet with you in person to talk about that process, answer any questions you have. As you can tell, we've got a pretty smooth process. I wouldn't say we're dance partners, but we're great business partners. So.
There we go. All right, thank you.